the game.
Hi, I'm Kelsa Dickey, the CEO of the Financial Coach Academy and my financial coaching business, Fiscal Fitness Phoenix. My coaching journey began more than a decade ago with me helping people for free from my dining room table. What was once a little business of mine has grown into a seven-figure company that employs a team of people. My goal is simple, to help you fall more and more in love with financial coaching. I believe financial coaching is the most rewarding way to make a living. If you are an aspiring financial coach or have been coaching for years, I'm here to help you create a business you love that gets your clients massive results. Let's get to it. Hey, financial coach. I am super excited for this episode. We're going to talk about, can I make a living as a financial coach? I know you probably have that question. I had that question early on too, and I had so many people tell me that it couldn't be done, actually. So this was back in 2008 when I first launched my business, and I had so many people tell me that you can't make a living helping people who are struggling with money. How will they pay you? And they would kind of look at me like, you just want to help people with just budgeting? Like, really? And I know if you are newer to this idea, you've probably been hearing similar things such as this, and maybe you're simply worried about them too. And I know that these comments from people, these questions that maybe are, they mean well, but they can certainly cause you to be even more worried, right? More hesitant, more skeptical, that sort of thing. So I wanted to address this. First and foremost, I am here to tell you that it is possible, and I have proven that it is possible. So when I first started my business, my goal at the time was to make $2,000 per month. I thought if I make $2,000 per month, I'll be happy. We'll be fine, right? Like Michael was working in physical therapy at the time. I started by charging $50 per session. I did not have packages or programs or anything like that. It was just $50 per session. I don't recommend that. So please learn from my mistakes here. But that was back in 2008. I don't come from a family of entrepreneurs. I didn't know anything about being a business owner, choosing my pricing structures, the psychology of selling, or anything like that. I really was just so brand new to this idea, and I didn't know any better. And $50 a session seemed like easy math to me. Obviously, there was so much more potential there, but I just didn't see it right away. I had to grow into that. My belief in what I was doing and what I was creating and how I was helping people had to grow as the business grew. And it might very well be that your belief has to grow as well. So I want to make sure you know that not only have I done this, have I found a way to make this work as a financial coach, make a living and love doing it, but I have been able to repeat it with the coaches that I hire for my own team. So the way we do it on our team is that we hire one coach, and all new clients that are finding us in our marketing and reaching out to us and looking for help go to that one coach until that one coach gets a full client list. Then we hire the next coach, and we do that process over and over and over again. So there is even more proof for you that not only was I able to do it, but we've been able to replicate that process for multiple coaches now. And I hope that helps to simply deepen your belief just a little bit that this is possible for you too. In the financial coaching mastermind that I host, I've seen probably 100 coaches who are making anywhere from around $2,000 to $5,000 a month, at least as a financial coach. And I know probably a dozen coaches or so that are easily making six figures as a financial coach right now. And there are just a couple of us who are in the seven-figure range for offering financial coaching. So in the next episode of the podcast, we're going to cover the various ways that you can make money as a financial coach, but it's fair to say that you could charge anywhere from like $25 for a mini challenge or a course, or up to probably thousands of dollars per month for private coaching for just one client, and everywhere in between those two numbers. So there's not really a limit. The only limit is your belief in what you do as a financial coach. One other beautiful thing as a financial coach is that you get to decide what that living is. Do you want to do this part-time and make a little bit of money on the side that you can throw towards your goals, sort of as a passion project? This business is very easy to start. You could easily start it simply by doing it part-time while you're already working, taking care of the kids, whatever the case may be. Or do you want a team of people And maybe you want to be making 6, 7 figures and you want to have a big team and you want to be sort of a one-stop shop for people when they have a financial question. You get to choose this. There's no one way to be a financial coach. And I think that's one of the best things about it. You can make it fit your life, your preferences, your strengths, your desires, all of those types of things. And I think that's really cool. Another really great thing about making a living as a financial coach is that you can do it with very little overhead. You don't have to open an office. You don't have to have a big inventory of products or materials or anything like that. You don't even need a lot of technology or fancy software that costs thousands of dollars per year to have a subscription to. It really costs very little to start as a financial coach. And even for a very long time, it doesn't require a big investment. We estimate in the Financial Coach Academy, we give coaches sort of a beginner budget and then sort of a phase 2 budget and a phase 3 budget and those sort of things. A number of the items that we recommend, they have a free option to start, which can usually work for a little while until you start to get more and more clients. But we estimate that you are looking at about $265 to about $312 per month on average to start, which is not a lot to start any sort of business, right? Like think about the businesses who are retail and they've got office space and overhead and utilities and staff and inventory and materials and goods and all of that. You don't have to worry about any of that as a financial coach. Here's what I think the big question ultimately is that people are really asking when they ask this question, which is, will people who are struggling be willing and able to pay for coaching? I think that's really at the heart of this question. And the answer is yes. We all, as financial coaches, help people who are struggling financially, right? And if you remember from some of the previous episodes, financial struggle does not necessarily mean on the verge of bankruptcy or in a crisis mode, right? Financial struggle can also mean not using money as a tool to create your best life. It can also mean making decisions for short-term gain over the long-term impact or value. So when you're making decisions because you're just trying to save money right now versus the one that maybe has a better impact long-term, that is also another version of financial struggle. So just because somebody is struggling financially doesn't mean they can't afford to pay for coaching or they're unwilling to pay for that help. Those two things are not the same, okay? The biggest factor for you as a financial coach to make a living at this is to be able to articulate the value of what we do as financial coaches. And here's the thing, the more clients you help, the easier it is to point to specific examples of the exact results you've gotten people, the things you've helped people achieve, the goals you've been a part of, the struggles you've helped people overcome. The more people you help, the easier that step is, right? But in order to get more clients to help, you need to be good at selling as well. And so it creates this chicken or egg scenario, which is why sometimes in the first couple of years of starting something like a financial coaching business or a service-based business like ours, is it can be challenging because you're sort of in the thick of that scenario, right? It's going to feel like quite a bit of hustle. It's going to feel like a lot of trial and error. You're really trying to figure out, how do I describe to somebody just what I can do for them and believe it myself, right? And know that even though I haven't had a client with this exact scenario, I know I can help this person, right? Where I think a lot of the times coaches go wrong is that they focus too much on the features of what they're selling. So you're going to get 4 sessions in 2 months, right? Or you're going to get 4 one-hour sessions, right? You aren't selling an hour of your time. You are selling a transformation, and that is where the value comes from for the client. That client does not want an hour of your time, I promise. They want a solution to their problem. They want to achieve a desired result. And our job is to help them see how our coaching is going to help with one of those two things or both of those things, right? So if you charge according to the value that you deliver, people will find a way to pay for it. If you are charging based on your time or the features of what you're offering, another example of a feature is some sort of deliverable. Where I see this show up for financial coaches is when they say, I'm going to give you a budgeting template, or you're going to get a debt payoff plan typed up for you. That is a tangible thing that they're going to get. That's something they're going to get from you, which is great, but it is not the most valuable thing if they don't know what to do with it once you give it to them, right? If they aren't sure if they can apply it to their life, or what is the impact of having that, right? I always think about a budget, and the goal of a budget is to gain awareness, gain clarity, like figure out where is my money going, right? The goal then, the benefit that we offer our clients is the ability to know with clarity exactly where your money is going, why, and what you want to do with it in the future. Yes, that is a budget, but nobody actually wants to be on a budget. They want the result of being on a budget. Right? So this is, again, like, what are you selling? What are you offering them? Are you offering them the takeaway or the benefit from that thing? Or are you keep trying to tell them they should want this thing, right? I don't care how amazing and successful my clients are and professional and that kind of thing, how much money they make. Nobody really wants to be on a budget. Right? They want the outcome of being on a budget. They want what a budget can give them. But if there was some other way that they could get that without being on a budget, they absolutely would want that instead. Right? So what is the value that people pay for then? Someone to talk through big decisions with. I think that is really important for so many of my clients. If they are verbal processors, they do better simply by talking through big decisions with somebody. Someone to guide them. Somebody who can provide an outside perspective and ideally from an expert, right? Accountability. They also see value in the strategies and the approach that helps them solve a problem if they don't know what that approach is, or maybe they've heard of it before, but they don't know how to apply it, or they don't understand the nuance of how to apply it, right? They also see value in the plan or the coaching that helps them to achieve a particular result, right? I always think our clients, one of the things that they pay for is the increased likelihood of success, that they're either going to solve a problem they're experiencing or they're going to achieve a particular goal that they have for themselves, right? Can they go and do either of those things on their own? Possibly. Some people can, right? Some people can't, but some people can. But their likelihood of success is greater by hiring a coach. And for some people, it's going to happen faster or it's going to happen easier because they're going to kind of know, the ups and downs of that road and that kind of thing because they hire a coach. And for a lot of people, that is worth it to them, right? So no one questions, if you think about it, getting an oil change in your car or paying an expert to repair your car. Let's make financial coaching just as common as hiring a mechanic to fix your car. Everyone touches money every single day. So let's normalize this idea that hiring a financial coach doesn't mean you're bad with money and it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It's that you want more from it, that you want to speed up your process, speed up your results, and overcome maybe some challenges that you're just not sure how to navigate. And it's going to be better for you if you have an expert there, right? That investing in yourself is just as common as investing to get your car fixed, right? People pay to have their problems solved all the time, especially when they can see that the cost of not solving the problem is greater than the cost of solving the problem. So here's an example. Let's say fixing your car costs $900, but not fixing it means not getting to and from work. Maybe it means needing to bike to the grocery store, which may not even be possible for some people depending on where they live. If you have a family, you're probably thinking, it's not even logistically possible to not have my car fixed, right? Like, how would I get the kids to and from school or take them to doctor's appointments or that kind of thing? The cost of not fixing your car far outweighs the cost of fixing it. So we find a way, right? We get resourceful, we get creative, and we find a way to come up with that $900. People do it all day long. What we have to do is help clients see that when it comes to their financial struggles, the cost of the solution, so the cost of financial coaching, is way less than the cost of the problem itself. And I don't just mean the financial aspect of their problem. Their financial struggles, y'all, are costing them so much in many ways, not just with money. You have to be able to articulate that. You have to be able to paint that picture for them. They are probably already feeling it. So I want you to know, sometimes we can be, we're afraid to paint a picture that's not exactly rosy, or we don't want to tell them something that's hard to hear, right? They are already feeling this the majority of the time. You have to help them see it, but not only see the problem more clearly, but the ripple effect that that problem is having on their life and just how much it is costing them, whether that's health or sleep or marital disputes, right? Or they're not present with their children. There is a ripple effect. They're stuck in a job that they don't enjoy because they need the paycheck, right? There are so many elements of this that we need to be able to talk through with them. People have struggled for so long with money in our world. It is a very pervasive problem. So much so that I think a lot of people don't even really see how much financial woes are costing them, because they kind of think, I know a lot of our clients, they're doing okay. And they sort of think like, I'm doing better than my sister, or I'm doing better than my best friend. So like, I should be thankful, right? And they see so much financial struggle, maybe from their parents or that kind of thing, that they think it's just so normal. And we need the opposite to be true. We want to normalize financial coaching, right? Financial progress, financial growth, financial learning, curiosity with money, all these types of things. We want to normalize that. It is our job to help them see the value of what we do as financial coaches. And in order to paint that picture for the client, we have to be able to see that for ourselves. We have to be able to believe in it in order to see that for ourselves, right? And we need to be able to see that for ourselves in order to be able to paint that picture clearly for the client. So that leads me to the very first thing needed in order to make a living as a financial coach is your belief that what you do as a coach is valuable. You have to believe that in order to help the client to believe it. When clients first start, they're going to borrow our belief, okay? We need to have a lot of it then, right? We need to have so much of it that when our clients borrow from our belief that they are capable of change, that the future is brighter for them, that this is possible for them, that they can do it, we still have belief even left, right? So we need to have that much belief. And this is probably the number one thing that I see holding newer coaches back when they first start. I actually think somebody asked me the other day, like, what would I have done differently really early on? And they had asked for 5 things. And one of them was, I would have believed in this work sooner. I would have believed in myself to deliver results sooner, because I think it could have had a really positive ripple effect in how I talked about what I do, the conversations I had with people, what I was able to see in sort of how their financial stress is affecting them and the ripple effect it's having, and be able to have a better and more clear conversation with them about that. I think it would have made business success happen faster for me, because I would have been able to articulate the value of what I do. I would have gained clients faster, all sorts of things. Your belief in what we do will expand as you help more people. You'll start to see the proof, and that proof after a while, you won't even doubt it anymore. You'll just get a new client and you're like, I know I can help this person, right? Until then, what I want you to believe in, because it can be hard. So I want to give you sort of these first steps, right? I want you to believe in your desire to help people and lead with your desire to help people. It is ultimately the thing that you probably got into this business for. It's probably why you got started, that you had a desire to help people with their money. Lead with that and believe in your ability to do that. And then the more clients you gain, start to look for the social proof of just what you can do for people. Okay? We're actually going to tackle this topic more in depth in episode 7. So stay tuned for that. We're going to talk a bit more about how do you articulate the value of what you do and that sort of thing. So here's what I want you to do now. I want you to imagine that you are coaching clients on their unique situation. You're providing strategies and you're helping them to think critically about the situation that they're facing so that they can navigate that. They can feel confident navigating that. You are helping them to learn to trust themselves. So like I said, at first, they're going to borrow from your belief in them, okay? But eventually what happens, and it's a really pivotal, beautiful, cool moment in the coaching relationship, when you can tell that they no longer need to borrow from your belief, they believe in themselves, that has now taken hold for them. And it's a really cool thing. I want you to imagine that you are not just giving people answers, you're giving them the ability to find the answers for themselves and to trust themselves that they can find the answers to any financial question that they have or concern that they have. You're teaching them how to fish, not just giving them a fish, right? So as a result, you're able to charge a lot more because you're adding more value. You're not just giving some sort of takeaway, right? Some sort of deliverable. You're actually changing the way they think and act and the way they see themselves in a really positive way. So here's the thing. If you are coaching clients right now through a very specific system, let's say it's like 7 specific steps, and you put all of your clients through those same 7 steps, and they could get those same 7 steps from reading a book, your coaching is going to be a much harder sell. I know some of you are not going to like what I have to say, but in order to make a good living as a financial coach, you have to differentiate yourself from the masses. You have to make your coaching about the uniqueness of the person. And I have had clients become wildly financially successful while leveraging debt. And I also have clients who never have debt. They never want to use a credit card, and that's totally fine. They've never had debt. They don't have car payments, all of that. And I've had clients become wildly financially successful in a really smart way using debt. I've had couples achieving their financial goals together with combined finances. And I've had couples achieve their financial goals together while keeping their finances absolutely separate from one another. I've had clients use a budget diligently and precisely and timely for all of their expenses and money coming in and out. And I have had clients become wildly financially successful without ever looking at or touching a budget. In other words, the second way to make a living as a financial coach is to let go of a preconceived idea that you have that there is one right way to be good with money. If there was one right way, if there was one way that worked for everyone, none of us would be needed because every person in the world would just go read a book or read a blog post and then go do that way after they've learned it, right? For a lot of people who hire a financial coach, they have read the books, they've done the research, they've learned the things, they've talked to friends who have tried certain steps. And when it doesn't work for them, they beat themselves up. They internalize that. See, something must be wrong with me. See, I knew I would never be good at this. And our job is to say, we just have to find a way that's going to work for you. We just have to find a way that you love and that is totally unique to you. Let's dive in. Let's explore that, right? So the other skills that I want you to embrace are business skills. Specifically, you've got to get good at marketing and selling. You have to lean into this part of your work. You have to step outside your comfort zone. And I know oftentimes marketing and selling, that's exactly what it feels like, a step outside your comfort zone. But being able to articulate the value of what you do for people, what you help people, achieve, the results, the problems you help people overcome, that will absolutely make or break your ability to make a decent living at this. It is such a crucial element of what we do. It's going to help your ability to get clients, and it's going to help clients feel more comfortable signing up because they're going to have clarity of what that decision is all about, right? It's going to help them feel more confident in the decision at hand. And getting clients, a consistent stream of clients, is what makes any business successful. This is not unique to financial coaching. It is part of business, right? So in order to have a successful business, things like your ideal client, program design, how you want to structure your business model, and all of those things that we preach in the Financial Coach Academy are so important. You can't be a coach without actually coaching. And you can't actually coach without clients. And we get clients by putting ourselves out there and by talking about what we do and not shying away from having these crucial conversations with people who we know we could help, right? And I want you to think about this. Selling is simply inviting people to work with you. It's probably the hardest part for most financial coaches. At least I know it was for me. I was terrible at selling for years. This is absolutely one of those skills that took me a very long time to feel comfortable with and confident with. The module inside of the Financial Coach Academy course is actually titled Selling with Integrity. And it was really important to me that we titled it that because when I first decided that this was a skill I wanted to lean into more and learn and take some courses and hire coaches and that kind of thing, there's definitely some really gross ways of selling. There are. And they never felt right to me. And selling with integrity is all about selling should feel good, right? I want you to think about if you were talking to a friend and they were like, you know what, I need X, and it's something for their yard or it's a product or anything that you use religiously and you love it, right? I want you to imagine how you would respond to that person. Oh my God, I have this brand. I absolutely love it. It is so good. It's my favorite. I always make sure I buy it when I'm at the grocery store, whatever the case may be. That is how you would talk about that thing, right? But yet when it comes to selling something that we have created, like our service, our offering, I know for me, at least when I first started, it was like I clammed up. I didn't know how to talk about it. I didn't know what to say. And I know that is true for so many people. I used to be so bad at selling that I wouldn't even invite people for more coaching because I just didn't know how to do it. And I felt so uncomfortable. And I call this mind drama. I would go and I'd be during that part of the conversation, I would help a client. They'd get amazing results. I could tell. It's like you could see a physical transformation right in the session, right? They're feeling better. They're sitting up taller. Their head is higher, all those types of things. And then I would have to come to talking about like next steps and us working together and that sort of thing. And I would become a completely different person. Like I did not even know what to say, right? So all of my confidence would just go away and dissipate. And I would feel terrible at this thought. And so like, here's what I want you to know. As terrible as it can feel and as uncomfortable as it can feel to invite people to work with you and to sell and articulate the value of what you do and to lean into the skill of selling, what feels even worse, because I've experienced it, is knowing that you could help somebody, but because you were scared or afraid or felt inadequate in some way, you didn't offer your help. And then 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, you run into that person and you see that they're doing okay, but they could be even better had you done that, had you found some courage, right? And had you just said the wrong thing, because that's better than not saying anything at all. That was my motivation for learning how to get better at sales, was seeing clients years later that I know I didn't offer my help to, but I knew I could have helped them. I knew that their life could have been better, but I didn't offer my help. And that is such a painful observation, such painful awareness to have. So I want you to think about that. That as uncomfortable as this might be, it is crucial. It is one of the things that you absolutely need to make a living as a financial coach. And it can feel good. Selling with integrity feels really good. These are beautiful conversations I have with my clients because I just talk with them about what it is that the decision would look like for them, right? And again, we're going to dive into this in a future episode, more, selling and articulating the value and that kind of thing. But I want you to hold on to this belief that you can get people amazing results and that you can feel good selling what you are offering to people, okay? So if you are wondering, can I make money as a financial coach? The answer is absolutely yes. Yes, because the costs are minimal and you have a wide range of what you can charge. Yes, because there's a lot of people struggling with money. It is a massive problem in our world. They need help and people are willing to pay to solve their problems. Yes, because you are capable of investing time and effort into your sales and marketing, I hope after listening to this episode, and you're open to coaching the whole person on their money, not just on money itself. And yes, because your future clients need you to believe in this work and in yourself as a financial coach enough for them to believe it too. And so lead with your belief in your desire to help people. So here is your reflection question to end this episode. I would love to hear from you. Please leave us a comment on YouTube if you are watching on YouTube. And if you're listening to the podcast, please take a screenshot of whatever podcast player you're using and let us know what your answer is on Instagram at Financial Coach Academy. Here is your question. If you knew you couldn't fail at this, how would you show up? How is that different from the way you're showing up right now? What would you say or do that perhaps you're not doing today? What would you do? How would you feel if you knew you could not fail at this work? That is your question, and I can't wait to hear from you. Please let me know your thoughts. I believe financial coaching is the best and most rewarding way to make a living. I truly love what I do. If you are ready to learn and see how to become a profitable, successful financial coach, check us out at financialcoachacademy.com to learn more about our online courses, free trainings, and events. As always, I love hearing from you too. So if you have any questions or comments for the podcast, submit them at financialcoachacademy.com/podcast. And of course, if you are loving this podcast, please subscribe and leave us a review. It would mean the world to me. I'll see you next week when we're going to talk about all the ways that you can make money as a financial coach. See you next week.